Evolution isn't a mystery. It's a PLE that's happening on Sunday. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our 9 pitches for WWE Evolution 2025. As you can see, the round table here is not round, it's oblong, and we are sat in line. Also, obviously, it's a bit of a different setup and a different team today. But my name is Little Andrew Dingle, and I am joined by two of the most illustrious and wonderful minds in the whole of wrestling YouTube.
Wow.
One,
you give
Tom
a good
Campbell.
intro.
Oh, well, and one Fraser Porter as well. Hello, boys. How are we doing today?
Not too bad. I'm excited for this. It's been a while since I've been on pitches, so I'm getting to flex a little bit of my creative mind, which isn't very good in the first place. So we will see how this goes for me. Although I am quite confident. I said to you just beforehand, all of my pitches are good.
And I mean, you really scrambled last minute to put these together as well, because you only got told about it today. So I'm very excited to see what you've come up with in a short space of time. Tom, how are you feeling about the whole weekend in genre?
Well, I, for one, am excited for a whole pay-per-view based around the 2004 faction Evolution.
Yeah.
So good luck to Batista on becoming the Women's World Championship on Sunday.
Come on, the big boy.
It becomes the championship, not the champion.
Give us an insight into one of your pitches.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's
One of my
done it.
pitches is gone.
Do they go back in time as well?
Yeah.
I can confirm, and I don't want this to ruin the viewership, I can confirm there is no time travel in my pitches this time.
Really? That's what the people come for now.
Oh, is there?
Oh, well, we will certainly find out as the three of us go around this table in a cyclical fashion, each taking turns to give you wonderful people one of our lovely pitches until we end up with 9 pitches. But guess what? It's all about that golden rule, everybody. It's not what we think's gonna happen. It's what we want to happen.
And then you die.
No,
Oh, that was different.
That's the...
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never mind. Fraser,
terrible error.
Would you like to give us your first one, please, Fraser?
I will kick things off. So we kick off the night with Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus, a dream match for the champion. Now, they battle it out, each of them hitting their signature offense and getting some near falls. It's kind of evenly matched. Now, the last time we really saw Trish Stratus, she was teaming with Tiffany back at Elimination Chamber. But before that, she was a dastardly diddler, wasn't she? She wasn't exactly a good person. Now, we start to see shades of her previous diddling coming through as she gets more and more frustrated by the fact that she isn't as fast or as agile as the young champion.
She's a slow diddler.
She's a slow diddler. She's diddling things slowly. Now,
Slow diddlers run cold.
Stratus has been targeting the leg of the champion, and as the referee is checking on the leg of Stratton, Stratus removes the turnbuckle pad from the corner. Now, Stratton starts to get back into the match and sets Trish up for the prettiest moonsault ever in one corner, but her leg is giving her issues and she can't quite make the jumps needed. Now, Trish takes advantage of that and gets a near fall for 2. She continues to diddle in the worst ways possible when the referee's back is turned. Jade Cargill is seen walking down the ramp at this point and is hovering around ringside. After all, one of these women will be her opponent at SummerSlam. Now, mocking her opponent, Trish attempts a prettiest moonsault of her own, but Stratton rolls out the way and avoids it. She hits a big boot on Trish, who lands perfectly near the opposite corner for her finisher. Stratton sees this and starts to run from one corner to the other, jumps on the bottom rope, the second rope, but oh no. Her leg gives out because it's not in the best shape and slips on the exposed top turnbuckle and smashes her face on the exposed steel.
Jesus.
I know, right? It's brutal. Trish quickly responds, rolls up the champion, and uses the ropes for leverage, and we've got a new champion in Trish Stratus.
Ooh.
As soon as Trish can get up, though, and celebrate with a belt, Jade Cargill is in the ring and hits a big boot on Trish. Jade, showing that she's capable of taking on a legend, hits Jaded on the new champion. Now Jade, leaving the ring, walking up the ramp, Naomi sprints past her with the briefcase, slides into the ring, hands the referee the briefcase, cashes in, the bell rings, and she pins Trish Stratus to become the new women's champion. But does that mean Jade Cargill versus Naomi is now a women's championship match later in the night? We shall see.
Oh, you what?
We
I didn't
shall
even
see.
think about that bit there.
Yeah,
Oh, Fraser.
I know.
Cigarette time.
I know, right?
So much diddling.
A lot of diddling to kick things off. But you needed to embrace the diddling, and I think Trish needed to embrace the diddling to beat Tiffany Stratton, a much younger opponent. There needed to be some diddling there.
Not on
So
the
what do you
younger
think?
ones.
It's a yes. I mean,
It's my first pitch in months.
It's a yes to me. I enjoyed the high amount of diddling that
Yep.
went on.
Yeah.
And I do think that I would imagine there'd be some vague forms throughout the night of Naomi teasing a cash
Yes, for sure.
So and I think this is a nice way to do it. It gives Trish a nice little legacy
Gives her a title run.
title run
for
there.
all
There
of
you go.
2 minutes.
All of 2 minutes
Yeah.
and establishes a new order in the women's division. So yeah, it's a yes from me.
Yes, get in.
Go on then. It's gonna be a yes from me. However,
Come on.
uncharacteristically, I feel like Jade might not necessarily get in the ring and do a pump kick to take Trish out
Yeah.
after the fact. But I'll tell you something though.
She's getting frustrated.
She's getting frustrated with
That's
what?
Not being champion.
Fair enough. Do you know what? I do like the idea of that, though, sort of leading into Jade has done that, and therefore her doing that has then brought Naomi out.
Exactly.
So basically, she's helped, in a sense, Naomi become champion.
She's done it because she's really anti-diddling. And she didn't like Trish's diddling.
I don't like your diddling.
Yeah, I don't like your diddling. I'm going to give you a big boot.
To
You
the
wouldn't
diddle
diddle
dungeon.
Trish Stratus.
Yeah. When the diddling stops, stop.
Stop. Please, stop. No, I like that a lot. That's 2 yeses straight off the bat.
Come
Look at
on.
that. Sexy
Yes.
time.
Heavy diddling,
Right.
heavy yeses. Right.
Who's next?
All right, Goldberg. He's on the other day, you silly bean. Or is he in this pitch? We'll find out together. Imagine. So let's go to the women's tag title match. The 4-way for the straps. Zarya and Sol Ruka versus the Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. I made it elimination.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
I do like him.
To add a little bit of smash, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they just can't coexist. So they're out first. Off they go. Yeah. So
Whoa.
miscommunication leads to them going.
Oh,
and
hello.
frustration there, malfunction at the junction. Away they go. It leaves us with obviously Perez and Rodriguez, the Kabuki Warriors, and Zarya and Sol Ruka. Kabuki Warriors, the established team, they end up pinning Roxanne Perez. Ooh. So that means the Judgment Day are no longer women's tag champs. And we have this lovely moment where you got the Kabuki Warriors, like the legendary women's tag team on one side, and you got Sol Ruka and Zarya on the other. Like one of these two are about to become women's tag team champions. Ooh. We are guaranteed new champions in this bit, and it is a blinder. It's a career making performance for Sol Ruka and Zarya in this match against the Kabuki Warriors. Comes down to Sol Ruka attempting a soul snatcher, but Asuka's got it well scouted, turns it into a rear naked choke, and Zarya, who is outside the ring at this point, can't get in there to break it, and Sol taps out.
Oh.
And we have ourselves new women's tag champs in the Kabuki Warriors. They celebrate with the belts. They shake hands with Sol Ruka and Zarya and leave. And there's a standing ovation for Sol Ruka and Zarya.
Nice.
Like loads of love for them two. And they embrace, and then and even Zarya holds up Sol Ruka's hand until Zarya goes, "Whoop!"
Oh, no!
Zarya wipes out Sol Ruka, stands over her, furious that she literally gave up on their team.
Oh.
She gave up. The submission's important.
She did.
She gave up.
She did.
And she obliterates Sol Ruka, batters her from pillar to post. Referees get in there, and Zarya sends them all packing. Ava, the general manager of NXT, gets in there. It's like, calm down, dear. It's a commercial. Ava's trying to stop the carnage, and it looks as if Zarya is stepping away. But you know what Zarya does? You know what Zarya does?
What does she do?
Spears the shoes off of Ava.
Oh, no!
Spears Ava in half. First bit of physical for Ava in ages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Takes down, and from here we get the Zarya that we bloody needed at the very beginning. Zarya came in as this world-destroying monster.
Yep.
And whilst her and Sol Ruka have had some lovely fun on the TikTok, that's not the Zarya I want to see. I want to see Zarya rip a hole through the women's NXT women's division. And it starts here. And Sol Ruka becomes the first victim. From here, you see Sol Ruka and Zarya one-on-one. And Zarya takes the women's North American title from Sol Ruka and just holds it hostage. Almost like a Goldberg-esque run where nobody can touch her. She is now the strongest she has ever been. But where it ends from here, well, that is for future to decide. But the journey of the true Zarya begins at Evolution.
Ooh. I like lots of aspects of this. I like basically everything bar the Judgment Day losing. Because I think there's a lot of legs in having Liv returning and being replaced by Roxanne, and you've got that storyline where they're still the champions, and she comes back and she's wanting to still be the champion, but she's not because it's Roxanne now. But you kind of convinced me with everything with Zarya, because everything after them getting eliminated from the match, it's exactly what I also want to see from that team, and we get the titles in the Kabuki Warriors. So I'm leaning towards a yes on that one.
Okay. Well, who's to say that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez can't win them back?
That's it.
Yeah.
Over.
You can also retrofit it so you have a retain instead of a new.
Yeah,
cap.
that's true.
You can still do it that way because the story still is.
Yeah,
the
it's the Zarya aspect. Yeah, you've won me over, Tom. You've won me over.
Yes, you've already won me over.
I've already smoked one cigarette after Fraser's pitch, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm smoking a whole
Double-handed.
pack. I'm double fisted.
Double fisted.
Oh.
It's as if he's still with us.
It's as if he's still with us. Oh, get that tar in my lungs. I like that very much. I like so. Again, sort of with what Fraser was saying in terms of like they've got a built-in story there with the tag team championships and Liv and Raquel and Roxanne, but just spice it up a little bit. Like you said, let's switch things around. We can get back to that down the line eventually, but for now, like I would very much like to see Kabuki Warriors with the tag team championships. Absolutely.
I want to see like an actual tag team with the tag team titles. I did a whole video on this week, and I'm like, I'd like to see that go off and then become a tag title.
Yes.
That is defended against other tag teams.
1,000%. But then also at the same time, the Zarya stuff is very, very good. And to do it on a WWE PLE as well, like I say a big stage. I know it's like
it feels a big stage.
It is,
If
for
you
sure.
can do it on a big stage.
Do it on a big stage. So to do it somewhere like here and really have her cemented as a dominant force within the women's division, it's a big yes from me.
Hey.
Big yes. That's 2 yeses.
Cranking out the yeses today.
But can we crank out
Can
more?
we crank one off?
Can we
for
crank
Andrew?
the hog, everybody? We're going.
This is a very sexy night, bitches.
It is, isn't it?
Diddling, cranking,
double fisting them cigarettes. All right, everybody, calm down.
Warm in here.
I'm going over too. So this is there's a merging of things happening in this one. Are you ready, everybody? Yes. Kicking things off, Tiffy time versus Trishy time for the WWE Women's Championship. In the closing stretches of the match, both women are clearly exhausted from a very back and forth heavy bout. Trish goes for a Stratisfaction, but Tiffany manages to launch Trish out of the move and onto the canvas. Tiffany gears up for the PME. Springboard 1, Springboard 2. Trish pushes her before the move can be executed. Oh dear, leaving Tiffy on the top rope. That's not good. And by heck, it's not. This is Trish's time indeed. Trish takes advantage and hits a bloody lovely poison stratosphere. Poison. Are you from New Japan Professional Wrestling, Trish Stratus? What is going on? She hits a poison stratosphere on Stratton. The crowd go radio rental as both women lay on the mat in exhaustion before Trish finally starts to inch ever closer towards Tiffany when it's only bloody Naomi's music doesn't hit everybody. Can you believe it?
Oh,
she's got the briefcase in the hand. She's on her way. Briefcase in hand. Yeah. She's here to cash in her Money in the Bank contract, everyone. But can you believe it again? Trish Stratus can't believe it. And her expression drops knowing she's potentially only just fingertips away from becoming an 8-time women's world champion. Naomi, at the foot of the ring apron, is about to slide into the ring and make this thing official when bang! A flying pump kick out of nowhere, straight down, straight to chops, bang, there you go. It's only Jade Cargill. Would you believe it, everybody? Can you believe it at home? No way. They are on the edge of their seats at home. Jade stops the cash in, and it's just chaos between the two on the outside as Tiffany and Trish resume their match. Tiffany eventually reverses another Stratisfaction attempt into a rolling fireman's carry. PME, 1, 2, 3, Tiffany returns the championship. Oh, yes. And Jade is still just wailing on Naomi after all her devilish tactics over the last few months. Stratus and Stratton embrace and they acknowledge one another after a bloody bloody lovely match. The two look towards the brawl ensuing out of the ring, though, when Jade makes eye contact with them. She looks at the two women in the ring. She looks at Naomi. She just tosses her straight in the ring, and Stratus gets a modicum of revenge on Naomi with a Stratusfaction. Tiffany hits a PME, and as the two leave the ring and head up the ramp, Jade slides into the ring, and it's ding, ding, ding. The bell rings. It's official. Straight into no holds barred time, everybody. We are merging. But Jade doesn't want to pin and win straight away. Oh no, she wants to punish Naomi. So Jade's tossing her through announce tables, brawling into the crowd on the ramp, and really dominating the proceedings when the two eventually end up in the backstage area. Naomi regains some control by grabbing a chair and attacking Cargill until eventually she stops and she laughs, doing that maniacal laugh that she does. I'm not going to do it because I'll be bad at it. And she laughs at what she spies, and as the camera pans round, it reveals we're in the parking lot / loading bay area, everybody, because Jade Cargill's weakness is cars.
Yeah, it's yeah.
She is.
The place, the film,
Of course.
all cars.
All cars. Lightning McQueen, all cars. After laying the chair into her back a few times, Naomi positions Jade on the loading dock where a car lays in wait for her, just like old times. Naomi screams that this is it. This is what she should have done in the first place. End Jade's career for good. She charges towards Jade, looking to hit a rear view and send Jade flying to the windscreen / bonnet below. But Jade moves at the last moment, and instead, it's Naomi that goes flying smash bandicoot straight onto the car. She's laying on the front. She's all split out on the front of it and everything like Jade was. But Jade gets in the car and she drives it with Naomi still very much implanted on the front of it. She makes her way into the arena. She drives down the ramp. Maybe she even does like the where you brake and then Naomi goes rolling off the car. She peels Naomi from the floor. She tosses her back in the ring and hits a Jade for good measure. 1, 2, 3. Jade is your winner. And I've said that it makes Jade look strong heading into SummerSlam. It gives a character a little bit of something else that perhaps maybe the fans aren't necessarily connecting with. I want a little bit of grit, a little bit of something more from Jade Cargill. And it ramps up the tension more between her and Naomi, because I do think Naomi is going to get the championship at SummerSlam with a cash-in.
Yeah.
So there's like, ramp up that tension right there. During that match between Jade and Tiffany. So, yeah.
That was... I'm so glad I got to experience that, because there's so much going on there.
There's a lot.
So much. It is exactly what I would... It's mine, but less diddling, which is always a good thing. There's less diddling. There's less diddling there. I love it. I think I really like the aspect of the car.
Thank you.
The cars are nice.
You got to get the car.
I think it's a really fun way to call back to the long-term storyline that they've been doing. I'd rather Trish be a heel and diddle some more.
Fair enough.
I'm saying it's a yes, because I think you've really thought about how this is... how the stories interlink and then culminate at SummerSlam.
Well, thank you very much. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think just for the use of Smash Bandicoot the bit at the end there, I think yes. The Jade Cargill Naomi shenanigans are ripe for pitching and plucking. So I think you've done a lovely job there of some nice throwbacks and keeping that bubbling over until SummerSlam.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It's definitely a yes from me.
Thank you, Fraser.
Right.
Could you do your number 2 pitch?
Number 2. So the Battle Royal is about to begin and all of the wrestlers are in the ring. Adam Pearce stands at the top of the stage and says, "Sorry guys, one of the participants is running late, but will arrive soon." I don't know how many people they've said is going to be in the Battle Royal, but it's one less than...
Is it 20?
Maybe yes.
More?
So we've got 19 people in the ring. Okay, so alas, the match begins. The match is a fairly standard Battle Royal. There's not much really we can say more about that for pitching it, but people go over the top rope and are eliminated. One of the major highlights of the match is Chelsea Green, who's had various different schemes to survive her elimination, like being carried around the ring by Piper and just having a chill out on the announce table. Our final 4, though, are Nikki Bella, Blake Monroe, Stephanie Vaquer, and Nia Jax. Now, the 3 of them team up to take Jax out of the match, so she's gone. But then Blake, who's teasing a little bit of a heel turn, we've seen the reports that maybe the WWE wants to make her a heel at some point soon, eliminates Nikki Bella from the match. Now we're down to Blake Monroe and Stephanie Vaquer. Michael Cole says something wanky on commentary like they're being in the big leagues now, because of course he does. It's a very close match between the 2 of them. Now Monroe and Vaquer are on the ring apron and Stephanie starts hitting the devil's kiss on the hardest part of the ring.
Oh no.
Monroe then drops to the floor below, meaning, well, Stephanie's won the match, right? Or has she? Because that final opponent hasn't turned up yet. Adam Pearce comes back out onto the stage and says, "Congrats! Stephanie will be taking on the winner of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Clash in Paris. But the Stephanie might not be the Kerr." Silence. "Style and grace, I'm never gonna be done. Lean on in. No, welcome to the queendom, where the kings bow down." Stephanie McMahon is back.
It's Big Steph.
She's heading to the ring. She slides in the ring, and immediately upon getting in the ring, Stephanie Vaquer takes her down to the mat, hits a devil's kiss, throws her over the top rope, and now Stephanie Vaquer will face the winner of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Clash in Paris.
Come on! What a
There you go.
payoff!
So Stephanie does, because of course Stephanie McMahon has got to make an appearance at Evolution.
Yeah.
I have full faith she'll open the show or something, but I think her having a surprise appearance to then just get thrown off the top rope would be a much more fun way to
I
have
think
her.
it'd be quite funny, that, actually.
Yeah. It's
I
like
like
the
it.
name of the contract says Stephanie, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
but-
say Vaquer.
Oh.
That's splendid. I think a battle royal is good for shenanigans.
Yeah,
like that.
right,
And
yeah.
I think that's a yes from me. I want to definitely see Stephanie McMahon rock up in the battle royal.
Doesn't immediately get thrown out.
Yeah, and immediately get lobbed out. by
Like she doesn't
Stephanie
even
McMahon.
get to her feet. She slides in and then devil's kiss.
I want her to come out on the trike, like at WrestleMania, come out on the trike as well.
She's
Paul
coming out.
driving
And
her
she,
as well.
she just like circles around the ring
Yeah,
loads
yeah,
of
yeah.
times.
Crashes
Like
into a
this
fan on the way
grand
down.
end- yeah. Nick
Yeah.
Khan's down there.
Trike, full entrance, fireworks going off. It's like, oh my God, Stephanie's back.
And she gets in,
Instantly
straight out.
Straight out.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it a lot, Fraser.
Thank
'cause,
you.
Again, I think Stephanie will make some sort of appearance at Evolution, and I'd like it to be not one that's just like her.
Yeah,
sort
just
of
going,
being
hey,
there. Hello,
everybody. This is all me. I did this.
This
I
is
did
me.
this. Yeah, and there's not much we can say about Battle Royal. It's pretty standard.
Battle
isn't it?
Royale,
Yeah, it's
isn't
a
it?
Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah.
People get thrown out.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
do.
You don't do too much with that, but no, very nicely
Thank
done.
you.
Very nicely done. So mine once again kicks off a whole series of events from Evolution. We have JC Jane and Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. Hard fought match between the two, in which we see Blake Monroe make an appearance earlier in the night. Earlier in that on Evolution, Blake and Jordan Grace have won their match, and they're friends.
Oh, big friends.
So here's Blake Monroe to head down to the ring during the match to cheer on her friend, because obviously JC Jane's got her own backup there in Fatal Influence, so she's there to kind of keep everything at an even keel. And there's a point where both go down, and Blake Monroe throws a steel chair into the ring.
Oh,
But JC Jane's the one that grabs the chair. That was not what we expected.
Damn it.
Blake looks horrified by it, but she ends up fighting off with Fatal Influence. JC Jane goes to use the chair. Jordan ducks it, kicks the chair back into
Yes.
her head while the referee's not looking. Referee's not looking at this point, by the way. Jordan Grace still weathers the storm. Grace Driver, 1, 2, 3. And Jordan Grace is the new NXT Women's Champion.
Yes.
She has a date with Marsha Slamovich, who is in the front row at Evolution, and they do the thing where she holds up her Knockouts title.
Oh,
Jordan
yes.
Grace holds up her women's title. As the weeks go on, we see Jordan Grace and Marsha Slamovich do a contract signing, and Blake was very apologetic for what happened. Like, I'm going to make it up to you. We've got this.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
JG, we've got this. We're gonna stay the course. This belt is not leaving NXT. This is our belt. Da, da, da. So there's a few occasions where Blake Monroe seems to take a bullet for Jordan Grace in a match. If there's interruptions and stuff, she's there to kind of keep the champion in good nick. We get to Slammiversary. It's Jordan Grace, the TNA Knockouts world champion. Jordan Grace, the NXT Women's Champion, versus Marsha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts World Champion.
yes.
Banger of a match in which we have on one side of the arena 10 members of the NXT Women's Locker Room.
Oh.
And on the other side, 10 members of the TNA Women's Locker Room.
War games.
Yeah. War games. They're both vested interest in this one. Winner take all, because one of these belts is going to disappear from the other show. So they want to make sure that this happens fairly and squarely. And then what goes down is that we see at one point the Ash by Elegance head into the ring to stop Jordan Grace getting the win.
Oh.
This brings out, so that's TNA getting involved.
Oh, yeah.
Then we see Fatal Influence getting involved, supporting Jordan Grace, because they don't want the belt to go to TNA.
Okay, yeah.
And this happens a couple of times, and eventually it is just a 20-woman schmoz. They're all fighting around the ringside area. And then as the dust settles, there's Blake Monroe. And then, a similar situation to Evolution, both women are down,
Don't do this.
throws a chair into the ring.
Yes.
Similar. referee, none the wiser. He's trying to clear out all the chaos around him.
Yeah, of course.
This time, Jordan Grace grabs the chair. It's like, oh, okay, that's all fine. And Jordan Grace immediately looks at the chair, looks at Masha Slamovich, a big friend for life. Nah, I ain't using the chair, throwing that down. Takes her down, goes for a Grace driver, feels a chair in the back of her head anyway.
Not the Shields chair.
The Shields chair. Blake Monroe wiping out Jordan Grace. Masha Slamovich looks up, a little bit shocked at first, and then cuts a cheeky smile.
Oh.
And therefore...
Oh!
Yeah!
What?
It was a setup.
No.
Blake
What?
Monroe helps Masha Slamovich win the NXT Women's Championship. Winner take all. She gets both belts. Blake Monroe has gone, well, look, if I can't have it, Jordan's not having it. And if I can't have it, none of you in the NXT Women's locker room can have it either. So my good friend Masha's having it instead. From here, I think we certainly get Jordan versus Blake. Big grudge match. And I like the idea of TNA actually having one up on NXT for a change.
Yeah,
that would be
100%.
nice.
It would be nice.
Because obviously Trix had the NXT, has had the TNA title for a while.
Yep.
So let's have Masha hold the NXT Women's
NXT.
title hostage for a bit
1000%.
with Blake Monroe as like a double agent within NXT.
Oh, you saucy boy.
You want to turn Blake heel? That'll turn a heel on the entire roster.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sold on that for the fact that TNA gets a win over NXT in some capacity. I think it does that effective turn. My only concern on a viewership basis is, are people going to watch enough TNA to know that Blake's a heel when she comes back to NXT? No knock on TNA.
No, there is that.
But there's the possibility when she just pops back up on NXT, they won't know what's happened.
That's down to production team making sure they show the footage
Yeah, that's
of what
it.
happened at Slammiversary.
But no, I'm all for that. That sounds exactly how I want the Jordan and Blake feud to go in that capacity. So for sure, yeah.
Oh,
Awesome. Thank you.
My goodness gracious me. You took me on a ride. You took us all on a ride there. And I thought it was going to have like a I thought I knew where it was going until that double turn. Well, I say double turn at the end.
Kept
I guess
you-
it is.
kept you twisted and turning.
It kept me twisted because Masha's a babyface at the moment anyway, isn't she? So I guess it would be
Yeah.
a double turn.
Two faces
turning heel. Yeah.
Do you think
something like
WWE
that.
would pretend that like Blake has just been in TNA this whole time and just like, oh, she was always there before. She
was-
has a long history in TNA.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I could see them doing that.
Oh, that was good. That's a yes from me.
Thank you very much.
All right, Andrew, what you got?
Welcome. Well, okie-dokie, everybody.
Okie-dokie,
Okie-dokie. Backstage, Kathy Kelly is interviewing Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez ahead of their tag team title four-way match this evening. Oh, after Roxanne's introduction into the group and as a replacement for a tag champion partner and Bezzy Liv Morgan, Kathy asks Raquel if she's feeling confident about retaining the titles this evening or if there's a little bit of apprehension on whether things could fall apart. Raquel tells Kathy that no matter what, with or without Roxanne on the same page as her, she will retain those titles and ensure they're ready and waiting for Liv upon her return, right where they were in the first place. She dares any team, any women's division, any company to come try and take these off her. Bring them all on. She's a women's tag team record setter with 6 reigns as an individual after all. That counts for something, everyone. It counts for something. And then we hear a disembodied voice say out of frame, any team? And when the camera pans round, it reveals TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella. Any company? I am feeling something in the scrotissimus region. Let me make a call. And he picks up his badge from around his neck and pretends to call Adam Pearson. They called this on his little badge thing whilst walking out for him. And we get to match time, and all the teams are stood in the ring facing one another after their entrances when out comes the general managers and Santino Marella. And after much deliberation, Raquel did say bring them all on, regardless of what company they may be from. And perhaps if Raquel thinks the teams in the match aren't on her level, then how about we bring in one more team? What's another team? What's that gonna hurt? What's that gonna hurt? A team who has also their own record of being the only team to have held both the WWE Women's Tag Team titles and the Impact Knockouts titles before. And in comes Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee of The Inspiration. The 5th team to be added to this match. And you know what, everyone? I'm going to throw this whole section right here out of the window what I've written. And I'm going to say that they do it. And they win the tag team championships. Because I originally said they almost do it, but then Ash and Heather by Elegance get involved to then further their thing going into Slammiversary. But I don't care. I'm going to say they're actually going to do it because they're a team and they win the titles. And as you said, it would be a nice win for TNA to actually get something from WWE as well. Take those belts around and you can have a match between them and Ash and Heather by Elegance at Slammiversary, which we're getting anyway. Do both titles go on the line there too? Who knows?
This is pretty solid. This is pretty damn solid. I'm going to be quite hypocritical because I said this about your one, saying I don't want the Judgment Day to win, but that's exactly who should be winning this match. It should be the Inspiration or the Iconics. Fantastic. I was terribly worried for a moment, though, because when you had Santino Marella, I was terrified that we were going to see Santina Marella come down with his daughter.
Would that be a bad thing?
Comes down with his match. And he comes into the ring. I would not want to see Santina, but the Iconics or the Inspiration, absolutely 100%.
Oh, yes,
that's
please.
a yes.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
I think it's a yes from me as well. I think the Inspiration / the Iconics never really got the true Shakers women's tag champions.
Yeah, they didn't, did they?
They were second champs ever, but it was just like such a dead reign because they never did anything.
Yeah.
So let's give them chance. Let's give chance to rewrite history in a better way.
Yes. I agree. That's why I wrote it, everybody. Fraser, please, could you give us your final one?
Remember earlier on when I said, but does this mean Jade Cargill versus Naomi is a WWE Women's Championship match later tonight? We shall see. Remember that, guys?
I remember.
Yeah.
We're about to see. So, throughout the night, Jade Cargill has been seen backstage absolutely fuming. Now, she's been trying to find Nick Aldis to make her match with Naomi later in the night a Women's Championship match. Eventually, she finds him, and Aldis says the only way this can happen is if you relinquish your Queen of the Ring title match at SummerSlam. So she's got to weigh those options. So she accepts under those conditions. We get to the match. Immediately, Jade goes for Naomi. She gets out of the ring, wields a chair, goes to town on the new champion. The match is fairly hard-hitting while Naomi does whatever she can to run away from Cargill. It spills out of the ring, up the ramp. They start dueling to the top of the stage and in gorilla position. I was going to have a carpet here, but I didn't. I took it out. I did take it out. Anyway,
put it in. There's a car there as well.
Cargill's in control with a car, and she hits Naomi. Naomi dodges out of the way with a car, but she front flips over it.
Whoa.
Anyway, Naomi...
Whoa!
To the glow.
Yeah. Cargill's in control, but Naomi is always managing to escape and runs further into the backstage area. As they brawl through the corridors, they enter the medical area where Tiffany Stratton is being seen to by medical staff. Jade squares up to the former champion. Naomi then attacks both of them with a bin. Just
a bin?
Throws a bin, like in Hot Fuzz. Throws a bin. All three of them are now brawling, and it's somewhat turned into like a quasi-triple threat match, but Tiffany's not actually a legal member of the match. All three start brawling back towards ringside area and are in the stands of the crowd, eventually getting back to the ring. Jade and Stratton some form of an alliance and put Naomi through the announce table. Out of nowhere, Trish Stratus jumps out of the crowd and starts to attack Jade. This is now basically a fatal four-way match. Again, Tiffany and Trish are not legal, so it can only be Naomi or Jade that wins. While Jade and Trish are battering each other, Naomi is starting to recover on the outside. She gets a steel chair from ringside, takes down Trish and Tiffany with it, and she hits Jade over the back, shield chair style. But she doesn't flinch. Naomi is backing down, but she still has the chair in hand. She's shaking, she's quivering. Jade's, she's getting fuming. She throws it to Jade. Jade catches it, and then out of nowhere, she calls it the rear view. Bam! Naomi hits the rear view onto the chair and into Jade's face.
The butt in the chair.
Exactly. She scrambles to get the pin and retains her championship over Jade. Now, Nick Aldis, over the next few weeks, will announce that at SummerSlam, it'll be Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. Now, I know I'd said that Jade has given up her shot. She somehow wins it. She somehow wins the opportunity back. She beats Tiffany, or Naomi goes, you know what? Yeah, you're not going to beat me. I've beaten you once before. And then you get her in the match. So for SummerSlam, it's a fatal four-way between them. I've not decided who wins, because that's for a different Pitches video.
Oh, nice.
If I'm back on.
Well, you should be on the power of your 3 pitches today, because that's a yes from me. Yeah, I just, again, like the Naomi Jade situation is a ripe one. And I like the fact that there is the jeopardy in there going, well, look, if we do this now, then you're not going to get your SummerSlam match. And obviously you repair it. You do the triple threat compromise as well, which is good. But it just adds that extra little bit of jeopardy to that match. Naomi getting the win as well would be a surprise. I think people would expect Jade to beat her.
And she flipped over a car.
And she did flip over a car. I thought you meant like flipped over a car. Like,
no.
I said rubbish. I'm fed up with this world. I like it a lot, and you know what? I like the idea of Naomi winning as well. I think when she gets that championship, which I think she inevitably will, I think she's going to be such a good heel character with that belt, and I'd like to see it continue longer than just like one night, as it would be within this context in Evolution. If it would carry on, even maybe I'd have a buddy win it at SummerSlam as well, I reckon.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
That also being a fatal 4-way match instead is more tantalizing to me currently than Tiffany versus Jade as well. Yeah. I think having more people in there to have it more chaotic and a little bit like, ooh, actually, who could come out of this one with a championship?
Spin off like Trish versus Jade.
Yeah.
You've got that coming out of it.
There's all sorts of stuff.
So many things.
I like it very much. So it gets a yes from me.
Hey.
What a day. What a day.
So many yeses all around. I don't know how we'll do with this one, but we'll see how we go. So, in the days leading up to Evolution, on the news wires, the dirt sheets gets reported that Deonna Purrazzo is so increasingly unhappy with her time in AEW that she has asked for her release and been granted it from AEW.
Oh, interesting.
Purrazzo's gone. What's that all about?
Where's she gone?
What's that all about?
Oh my God.
That's strange. That's an interesting one to chuck out there. Anyway, we get to the SmackDown before Evolution, and Chelsea Green is furious, right? She's the Women's United States Champion. She hasn't got a match on the pay-per-view, like defending her title. This is disgraceful. Okay. She goes to Nick Aldis and goes, I'm like your Women's United States Champion. I was your Women's United States Champion. I'm a former Women's United States Champion. I'm not going to be in a battle royal. I should be in a feature position on the show.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to be in the battle royal. No chance at all. And he said, so Nick Aldis goes, okay, so you've got one or two choices. You can either be in the battle royal like a good employee, or you can accept an open challenge.
Oh,
that I've had land on my desk to an underground match at Evolution. She says, okay, who's it against? He said, well, that's part of the surprise. I can't tell you, and I'm not going to tell you until the show. It's up to you. You can either have the Battle Royal, where you're going to have a full roster of people who you're going to be in there with, and you could possibly fight to get back the Women's United States title, or you can take this open challenge to an underground match on the pay-per-view. And she consulted with her secret Hervis and went, you know what? Give me that open challenge. I think I know who's coming down that aisle on Sunday, and I'm ready for him.
It's going to be such a swerve.
It's going to be such a swerve. Do you know now? Okay. So then Evolution starts, and Chelsea Green heads towards the ring.
Yeah.
She gets on the mic and says, Nick Aldis has said there is an open challenge for me, and there is somebody who I know from my days in the other place who's been sniffing around lately. I say, you get out of here right now and let's have it out. Because obviously, Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green used to be a tag team in TNA.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Just to fill you in on that little bit. Yeah. We're not going to say it on the show.
Who's it going to be, Tom?
Yeah. So here comes Nick Aldis. And he's gone, you must be mistaken. This is a person from your past that has thrown down an open challenge. Somebody you know very well. But it's not who you think it is. And also, I must apologize. This isn't an underground match. This is a lucha underground match.
I knew it!
And here comes Penta! Yes! Chelsea Green versus Penta one more time.
Oh my God.
You cowards! And they have an absolute rip roaring barnstormer.
There's no beating this. There's no beating this, Joel.
Penta and Chelsea Green, they rip the ring apart. They go through both announce tables. Chelsea gets bust open. Penta get his mask ripped. They fight all the way up the ramp. There's a whole sound desk that Penta drives Chelsea through. Chelsea's able to recover from this absolute onslaught from Penta, and they make it back into the ring where they've set up 6 tables. And Chelsea Green fighting on the top row with Penta, unprettier, off the top rope, avalanche styly, through 6 goddamn tables. They're probably on fire.
Yeah.
1, 2, kick out at 2 by Penta. 6 tables and an Umpria. No, we gotta go bigger. 6 more tables set up outside the ring, and Penta and Chelsea Green fight on the top, but Penta able to block a second Umpria. Penta driver through all 6 tables outside the ring. 1, 2, kick out at 2. My God! Into the ring they go, where Penta is pulling up the ring canvas. Sod the rest of the night, pulling up the ring canvas. Exposed boards all the way across the corner of the ring. Penta looks for one more Penta driver, but Chelsea Green on the exposed boards of the ring lands an unprettier, but she knows he ain't done yet. She goes under the ring, pulls out a massive bag, pours thumbtacks onto the exposed boards, grabs some lighter fuel, glug, 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 lights a match, boom, the ring's on fire. Chelsea Green, unprettier, through the fire, the tacks, the boards, and a referee with gloves for their safety.
Of course.
1, 2, 3, Chelsea Green wins the greatest match in the history of WWE PLEs.
Do you want another? Do you want another cigarette, Andrew?
Yes, please.
And then she wins the women's US title or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never reference it ever again on SmackDown. She just goes back to being jokey Secret Harvest immediately after.
Jesus.
It's quite insane.
Where do we begin?
Yeah, anything to get Chelsea Green on pay-per-view.
We're going to get her on pay-per-view.
I'm all for. Like, that's... And I think you've come up with that off the cuff.
I have a little bit.
That's insane. What goes on in your mind? That's incredible.
I've always enjoyed Chelsea Green versus Penta.
Yes,
I
of
saw
course.
out the corner of my eye on your paper that it said EO Sky. You just completely like. Just,
Well, the thing is, okay,
He's gone, you know what? No.
full disclosure, my last pitch was so similar to yours and so similar to yours. I went, all right, we're going to go the nuclear option.
And you've done it. You've gone nuclear in the best way possible. Yeah. Yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
Come on. If that's not the
I
thumbnail,
like the misdirection.
I don't even know what to say.
I think that should be the thumbnail. We've had a good week with thumbnails. That should be the thumbnail.
Don't even know what to say. It's so good. It's just so good, and it's something that I don't think that's. Wait, what's the tagline for the show, Joel? It's not what we think is. It's what we.
Life's a pitch.
It's not what
Join us.
It's not what we want to happen. It's what I think is going to happen.
That's it. Yeah.
1,000%. That's so. Oh, I enjoyed that very, very much.
Thank you very
It's
much.
a big yes from me.
I got a sweat talking about that.
I hope they're watching and they go, "Oh, let's do that. Can we get plans in place for that on
Chelsea
on Sunday
Green
night?"
loves 9 pitches, so I'm hoping. Matt Cardona's a big fan too. So Matt, show Chelsea this.
Yeah.
Appreciate, mate.
Right,
Oh,
Andrew.
she'll be well up for it.
It was nearly Matt Cardona versus Chelsea Green, but I thought Penta would be funnier.
1,000%.
Go watch Penta versus Chelsea Green from Lucha Underground, by the way. It's phenomenal.
It's so good.
It's a brilliant match.
It's so good.
Try and follow that one, Andrew.
Well, I can't, can I? End of day.
Just put Penta in whatever
Put
you
it,
got
yeah.
last.
Penta.
It's on Chelsea Green, and there you go.
We're going back, everybody. Back to Chelsea Green versus Penta. No, we're not.
Yes.
We are going back, though, all right? We're going back Back one night to set things up for this next one. NXT Great American Bash. You got Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influences, Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley, ahead of Jordan's match against Jane for the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution. And would you believe it, dear viewer and or listener, there's a malfunction at the junction. Honk,
really?
honk, boo. With Jordynne Grace and Jacy Jayne as the legal participants in the match, we get a ref bump that sees Jasmine Nix try and get herself involved to sway the outcome. In comes Blake Monroe to help a tag team partner, grabbing Jacy as she's directing traffic with her Fatal Influence stablemates and hoisting her up for a Mayday, which I've said will now have to have a different name, like Monroe Row the Boat or something like that.
Monroe row the boat.
So that might be what it's renamed to. However, as Blake has Jacy dead to rights, Fallon goes to stop the move from happening, only for Jordan to propel herself at Henley with a spear, but Fallon manages to move at the last second, though, sending Grace colliding with her partner Blake. Oh dear, as those wonderful Chuckle brothers once said. Beside herself at what's transpired, it's enough for Grace to get caught in the distraction by a rolling encore from Jane for the 1, 2, 3 before Evolution. Jacy Jayne pins Jordynne Grace at the Great American Bash. Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh
As
dear,
the
oh
great
dear.
Chuckle Brothers once said.
They sure did. Only once, though. They never said it any more times. The next night at the PLE itself, we get a backstage segment involving Jordan in which Blake makes her way into shot. Jordan tries to apologize for what happened the night before, but Blake cuts her off. And after a bit of hesitation, she says it's fine, regardless of what happens. She has Jordan's back tonight since they have a common enemy in Fatal Influence. But no, this Jordynne Grace, you lady, she has the NXT Women's Champion dead to rights in the middle of the ring last night. And whether after this evening, it's either still Jacy Jayne or perhaps even a new NXT Women's Champion in Jordynne Grace, she'll do it again, she will. And as she leaves the shot, it flows perfectly into the next match, which is the 20-woman Battle Royale, of which Blake enters in first. She goes the distance and wins the whole ruddy thing, everybody, earning herself a world title shot at Clash in Paris. How nice. That's very nice.
That's lovely for her.
Nice. Jordan's match against Jacy comes up later in the night for the NXT Women's title, and would you believe it again? Those Fatal Influence ladies get involved once again. I've said again twice in one set. Awful writing. But Grace keeps on persevering despite the numbers game. Yet eventually towards the end of the match, it gets too much. After a juggernaut driver, Grace goes for the pin. But Fallon distracts the ref from counting the 3. Oh, boo, boo.
Boo.
Grace unhooks the leg and goes to sort out Henley, but it's enough of a distraction for Jane to recoup and hit the rolling encore. 1, 2. Grace kicks out. You what? No way.
You what?
You what? Frustrated and in disbelief, Jacy goes berserk. And whilst Fallon and Nix distract the ref again, Jane heads outside of the ring to grab a chair. When she's finally intercepted by, she's finally here, everybody. Blake Monroe is here. She jumps the barricade. She takes the chair from Jacy and hits the Monroe row the boat on the outside of the ring before tossing the NXT Women's Champion back in the ring for Jordan to hit yet another juggernaut driver for the 1, 2, 3. Jordynne Grace is the new NXT Women's Champion. And in the ring, Grace celebrates as Blake Monroe slowly gets in the ring. And she slowly starts to approach Jordynne Grace.
Row the boat.
And then she hits her with a raising of the arm.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. She is reveling in this victory because I want to tease the heel turn. I want to tease it. But what I want to happen is that I want Jordynne Grace to win the match against Masha Slamovich and get the Knockouts championship as well. And then in the celebration on NXT, that's where I want. That's where I want Blake Monroe to turn heel and absolutely decimate Jordynne Grace in the middle of the ring.
That makes so it's Grace to win them all, and then
Grace wins them all, and then Blake is like, haha, no, Monroe, row your boat.
Monroe, row the boat, damn it! Damn you to hell! Monroe, row the boat, damn you to hell!
It rolls off the tongue, right? It rolls
There's
off
very
the tongue.
just for the name of the finish. That is like thumbs up.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I like the way the turn is teased. I like the dynamic between Jordan and Blake in that. How you have Jordan win the belt. I think she definitely needs to win that belt.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you've done a good job there. But yeah, just for the Monroe row the boat and the Chuckle Brothers references.
Oh, thanks.
If you can have them like do a dueling roll-ups where it's like to me, to you, to me, to you.
Oh,
then it's a perfect pitch.
Maybe we have them for a little while whilst they're both still baby faces. Maybe we have them as the Chuckle Brothers.
Barry and Paul.
Yeah, maybe we just change the names to Barry and Paul.
They come out to Chuckle Vision.
Yeah.
To Chuckle Vision.
To
That's
Chuckle
it.
Vision.
That's sorted.
Vic Joseph is confused. But we're not. Because it's what we want to happen.
It's what we want to happen.
Yeah, it's a yes from me. I think that your method of getting to the Blake Grace story has better legs than mine does.
I liked the legs in yours though. There was lots of legs.
It was very much twisty, turny, twisty. But
Fantastic legs.
Thank you very much. The idea that Blake would wait until Jordan Grace has won them all and then go after them probably makes more sense than Blake just going, no, you can't have them. Because I'm now Zippy from Rainbow. But it's a yes from me.
Thank you.
Hey.
My God, it's a blooming clean sweep for everybody today.
Did need more Penta.
Did need more
Yeah.
Penta.
I'll say that.
But I mean, the chunk of Penta that we got was
a lot of Penta.
it was filling.
Yeah.
It was very, very filling.
A lot of Penta.
And you don't want to necessarily ruin it because you've had so much of a good thing.
Your Penta palate's been satiated.
Yeah, you don't want to throw Penta everywhere for the rest of the evening.
You know, spaff Penta against the wall.
No, don't do that either. Don't do that. Well,
Diddling, spaffing, cigarettes.
Double handed.
Is this how they usually go?
Fisting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's quite warm in here, to be fair.
It is quite warm in
And
here
Joel
as well.
is sat just there, which doesn't help.
Shagger Joel.
Shagger Joel sitting right there.
Well, with that, thank you so much, everybody, for joining our 9 pitches for WWE Evolution. We have a lot of stuff going up throughout the week. Obviously, you're watching it right now. You've got pitches, you got predictions, you got what happens at, you've got live streams with myself and Sam, you've got the WTF moments with Ross as well, amongst a plethora of other wonderful things too. So thank you so much for joining us. Do join us this weekend for some wrestling shenanigans, and let's not forget the golden rule, everybody. And thank you to these two as well. But let's not forget the golden rule as well, everybody. Life's a pitch, and then you die.
What we want to happen.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Penta.